You don't say to mama, you don't read, oh. Says the tracking angel. You don't boast to mama, you don't cut. Now chain you the cut. Okay, now make I use my microscope, scan a reality scan, nigga area Biafra phobia mentality. See, set Mazin Nnamdi Kanu free. One war. They don't want to hear the name of Biafra. For them is a scary name of Biafra. I love this very name of Biafra. Biafra, most I judge a bless Biafra. Chukwu Kika Biama bless. Conscientiousness bless Biafra. Biafra. Started in 1804 by Uthman Danfodio. Rinom go build to Sokoto. Boo, Sa Amadou Bello. They massacred the Hausa, Maragi and Pura. What about the Shua? Zamfara and Adamawa. Referendum is the voice of everyone. Real freedom, Yahweh must be done on the land. Simon, they don't want to hear the name of Biafra. For them is a scary name of Biafra. I love this very name of Biafra. Biafra. Most I judge a bless Biafra. Chukwu Kika Biama bless. Conscientiousness bless Biafra. Biafra. They tried by the canoes. This reckless Fulani. They conquered the Lorraine. Fooling. They killing him Benue every day. Niger State and Plateau State every day. The whole of the best state every day. Every day. Our move, don't do. Say we move, but now we move. They don't want to hear the name of Biafra. For them is a scary name of Biafra.
Abu Abraham. Alero. Make sure you are hitting the like button.
Conscientiousness bless Biafra. We know that they are the terrorists, like the man called Sheikh Gumi, terrorist. Gabe Sheva Dismantling, terrorist. Isa Ali Ibrahim, terrorist. Boko Haram, terrorist. They stop the people from farming, terrorist. Abubakar Malala, mainstream media swarming, terrorist. Now we have more sellers than buyers. Information militant liar, Mr. like Mohammed and liar. The truth is Biafra's fire. They don't want to hear the name of Biafra. For them is a scary name of Biafra. I love this very name of Biafra.
Biafra.
Most I judge a bless. Chukwu Kika Biama bless. Conscientiousness bless Biafra. They can come into Biafra land, run them out of the land, run them out now. Run them out now. Divided nations, decent, playing their bloody games against Biafra. We all the same. What a shame, such a pain. Nnamdi Kanu say Biafra. Biafra. Black people worldwide say Biafra. Because Biafra.
Let us pray.
onye nwe m na Chineke nna nke igwe biko dịka isi wee napụta ụmụ gị n'ọbụ Ijipt gocha wee wezuga ụmụ gị bụ ndị Biafra mgbe ekwensu bụ zuu nke mmadụ dị ndụ kere anyị wee na-aja gị mma na-asị gị n'ime ọnọdụ anyị na anyị ga-ekele ha nsọ gị wee nye gị nsọpụrụ ụtọ na-eji ama mgbe niile n'ihi na anyị enweghị ichi ọzọ ewezuga ka anyị nwe anyị anaghị efe arụsị ọbịa mere iji wee na-agọzi nsọmụkwụ anyị niile ọbịa mere IPOB ji wee gbaa mgbọrọgwụ n'ụwa niile anyị anaghị atụ mmadụ dị ndụ anyị wee na-eto gị eze ebube dị ngosi si gị biko gbatara anyị ọsọ enyemaka ọ bụ naanị gị bụ onye anyị nyere nwanyị akpụ isi ala nye ka i wee napụta ndị gị n'ọbụ nke ekwensu. Anyị wee na-enye gị ofe na nsọpụrụ na ija mma na-asị lekwa ka ndị iro anyị niile kakasị hapụ ikunu ọzọ obodo ekwensu bụ zu ala ọkwa n'iyi eze ebube dị ngosi anya ọnwa anyị bụ ụmụ iwe na-akpọkwa ha nsọ gị na-asị na ebe gị chi ọzọ egwezuga gị. Anyị wee na-aja gị mma wee na-eto gị na-asị onye kere ihe niile kere eke mana onye kere na n'otuto niile na nsọpụrụ niile na ịja mma niile site n'ebighị mara onye ka a na-arịọ gị ise.
Ndewo Maazị Nnamdi Kanu, onye ndu himself. Ndewo. Now, there's a song I just saw on Twitter. I want us to also play this one.
When are you coming to President Donald Trump? I say, when are you coming? We don't miss you already. You and your friends. When are you coming to bed? President Donald Trump. I say, when are you coming? We don't miss you already. You and your friends. You and your friends. You and your friends. When are you coming? Prepare the world for you to come and join me. Prepare the world for you to come and see Donald Trump. I say, when are you coming? We don't miss you already.
President Donald Trump, when are you coming?
Trump. I say, when are you coming? We don't miss you already. You and your friends. When are you coming to bed? President Donald Trump. I say, when are you coming? We don't miss you already. You and your friends. You and your friends. You and your friends. When are you coming? Prepare the world for you to come and join me. Prepare the world for you to
When are you coming?
I say, when are you coming? We don't miss you already.
Thank you. I think that's okay. Thank you. All right. Now, bye to BBC. British shameless entity. Bye. Where's our logo? Bye to BBC. British Anumpama. Bye. Do you know that God used Maazị Nnamdi Kanu to lay that curse on that British evil empire? And today, he's using Maazị Donald J. Trump to finish it completely. He's using Donald J. Trump to end it completely and close their chapter. It is no longer allegedly alleged. It is now in the coffin. Donald J. Trump has finally completely sued BBC. Their leaders are resigning and running away. There's a video we're going to play. But meanwhile, this is the evidence. $1 billion. And you know, for their leaders to be resigning already, they know that they have lost it. They have lost it. Do you ask yourself, why is it that Maazị Nnamdi Kanu, a British citizen, I have never heard him anywhere mentioning, I'm a British citizen, oh, Britain, come and help me, oh, come and stand for me, oh, come and fight for me, oh, why are you not fighting for me? Twa! He spat on their face because they are an evil empire. The last time we heard his voice, what did he say? Do you think that Britain can ask you to jail me and you will jail me? You are dreaming. You are dreaming. You think Britain can command you to jail me and you will succeed? You are dreaming. Because Nnamdi Kanu knows the evil called BBC, the evil called British Empire. Today, I'm telling you, you know, they had handed over Nigeria to Islamic Caliphate of the Fulani. Before Fulani succeeds in Nigeria, they already succeeded in Britain. Before Fulani will ever raise their flag in Nigeria, they are already raising it in Britain. Go to Britain. So many cities of Britain are now under Sharia law. Under Islamic control. Some British people cannot even cough in their neighborhood. No, they can't cough because the land have been taken over. Now, let me bring you some of the evidence, and then we will go and begin to have some conversation. You know, this one is not child's play, not be joke, not be toko. Now, real. Come and see it. Gather here, let us show you. Nnamdi Kanu will be very, very excited now. When he hear this news, he will say, wow. I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't know it would happen so fast. Look at it. Joseph Okechukwu says, hello, BBC. Bye-bye. In your next life, do journalism. In your next life, do it well. Hashtag BBC World. Hashtag BBC Breaking. Hashtag BBC Africa. How about BBC Igbo? Andrew Biden. This one is a British person. The lawsuit has landed. The lawsuit has landed. This was 16 hours ago. President Trump's lawyers are suing BBC for US $1 billion. The day of censorship, lying, pumping out deep state propaganda have eventually caught up with them, and it has a big price tag on it. See the legal letter here. The legal letter is what? Here, look at it. Brito, page 1, page 2. If we want to read it, we have to go on what do you call it? On WhatsApp to be able to broaden it, but I don't have time for them to read it this morning. Britain into President Donald Trump is here to finish what Nnamdi Kanu started. President Donald J. Trump is here to finish what Nnamdi Kanu started. I don't know when I was when I was showing it, it wasn't large enough. Look, let me bring it back again so that you will join me and read it. I didn't know that the thing was small. Okay, look at it. The lawsuit has landed. President Trump's lawyers are suing BBC for US $1 billion. The day of censorship, lying, and pumping out deep state propaganda have eventually caught up with them, and it has a big price tag on it. $1 billion. See the legal letter. Here is the legal letter. I'll show you again. Here is the legal letter. I think it's even better like this. Here is the legal letter, page 1 and page 2. Let me tell you. When Nnamdi Kanu was warning Britain, how many of you remember? If you are a student of Radio Biafra, I hear Nnamdi Kanu keep repeating it. Britain, if you don't want God to punish you, remove your hand from Biafra. Remove your hand from Biafra. If you don't want God to deal with you, punish you very, very well, remove your hand from Biafra. Allow Biafra to be. You have taken Nigeria. Continue Nigeria. allow Biafra to be. Britain are Oishi Akwara, Oishi Nkube. They refused to listen to the voice of the prophet. Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped. And that one again, they used it to open their nyash. They had not deprived Nnamdi Kanu of his citizenship. He was still a British citizen traveling on British passport while he was kidnapped in Kenya. Same thing that happened in Britain that was about to happen. The same thing that was about to happen in 1984 with Umaru Diko. Britain were, showing their mind. Hey, they want to show their integrity. Thank you, Chukwuemeka, you are a witness. Every day, Nnamdi Kanu will say it. If you don't remove your hand from Biafra, God will punish you. This evil you are planting in Nigeria, in Biafra land, it will overwhelm you, to take over you. Nnamdi Kanu promised them and told them that Britain will scatter. He told them that Britain will scatter. Today, what is happening? Today, what is happening? The same thing they used to punish the same their Pekin, Nigeria in 1984 happened to their own citizen. Now, Umaru Diko was not a British citizen. Umaru Diko was a Nigerian in Britain. A Nigerian in Britain. And Nigeria wanted to bundle him like a crate of egg to bring him to Nigeria, bundle him. Britain got a wind of it. They dismantled it. They quickly released him and made sure he was safe. And then they went after the people that planned to do it. It was a planning to do. But this time around, with Nnamdi Kanu, a British citizen kidnapped in Kenya, Britain, they kept quiet. Why would they not keep quiet? They kept quiet because they were underground, the masterminders of it. This man that is always talking about us, that is always exposing us, we are going to use Nigeria to destroy him. And eventually now, watch Britain, how they are going down. How Britain is going down. Without saying too much or talking too much, let's listen to this video of what God is doing to Britain. Do you know what has happened to Biafra? There are so many Biafrans in America, in Britain, that escaped the horror that was being carried out on Biafra. When they talk about Christian genocide, before it became a Christian genocide, it was Igbo genocide. How many of you know that before this Christian genocide became a Christian genocide, it was Igbo genocide, because it is in the Igbo that were actually their targets. This young man in the video here is not the video I wanted to play, but I just saw it. Now let me play it. He'll tell you how that they were rescued out of Nigeria by changing their name. You will see some people today answering a half name that sounds like Hausa name, but they are not Hausa, they are Igbos. You know what? Because they escaped the horror that was being perpetuated on the Igbo. Listen to this man, you will understand.
You know, my original last name is Chima.
Listen.
You know, my original last name is Chima. But my father changed it, took his dad's name, put Dan Chima so they can get out of Nigeria because they were killing Igbos.
See, his original name was Chima. His father had to change it so that they will use it to escape Nigeria because they were killing Igbos. He had to put Dan Chima. He put Dan in front of Chima. So the name now sounded like a Fulani name. Dan Chima. Dan Chima. So that they will escape. I am telling you, before ever there was a Christian genocide, there have always been an Igbo genocide. And so many people that are in America today, only that some of them, they went there and they now realized they forgot about their heritage. They forgot about their home. Don't worry. Nnamdi Kanu stood the ground and fought for you. Now, gradually, they are all coming out, one after the other, and telling the world the true story. Listen to this young man again.
You know, my original last name is Chima. But my father changed it, took his dad's name, put Dan Chima so they can get out of Nigeria because they were killing Igbos. So it was my aunt told me this. She said, that's the reason why you're Dan Chima. It was survival.
It was survival.
Yeah, we were Chimas looking for Igbos to kill.
Yeah.
And my father was smart, just said, nah, Danchima, we're Danchima, so we get out.
You see, they were looking for Igbos to kill. That was Igbo genocide. But has the Igbo genocide ended? No. It has metamorphosed and it has graduated to Christian genocide. That is it. Repeat the story, sir.
You know, my
Repeat it.
original last name is Chima. But my father changed it, took his dad's name, put Dan Chima so they can get out of Nigeria because they were killing Igbos. So it was my aunt told me this. She said, that's the reason why you're Dan Chima. It was survival.
It was survival.
Yeah, we were Chimas, and they were looking for Igbos to kill.
Yeah.
And my father was smart, just said, nah, Danchima, we're Danchima, so we get out. I'm growing up in America, you know, black Americans around in Chicago. I grew up in Chicago. So you're talking about Southern mentality. So they'd be like, man, you black African, you know, they'd be like, is there monkey you be chasing? They would say that. And then, you know, you have African American friends shitting on you. And then you have a Nigerians think you're not really Nigerian. I go, I am. Like, I just was born here. It was, you know, in Biafra, the war.
Yeah, the
Biafra.
war.
That's why we got here.
154.
It was because of Biafra. That is why we got here. Repeat it again. Tell
Just was
them.
born here. It was, you know, in Biafra. The war.
Yeah, the
Biafra.
war.
That's why we got here.
154.
You know, in Biafra. The war.
Yeah, the
Biafra.
war.
That's why we got here.
154.
You know, in Biafra. The war.
Yeah, the
Biafra.
war.
That's why we got here.
154.
They don't want to hear the name Biafra. But today they are hearing the name everywhere. All the secrets that BBC covered is coming out. It's coming out. Biafra is coming to the world stage. The last miracle is about to happen. Now, where are we up to? Let's go to the main video while we are here so that you will understand it very, very well. Let us go there. This is the video we need.
About
It is
corrupt
15 minutes. Just watch it. Yes, we are going to play it from beginning to the end. I will listen, you will listen, and hear for yourself how Donald J. Trump has become the instrument, the latest instrument that Chukwuoki Kabiama have used to stop Britain and changing the narrative. And now Britain is going under because they had always planned to stop Donald J. Trump. They always plan to stop him, but God said, no, this is the Redeemer. This is the Savior. This is the instrument I'm going to use. The stone that the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone. His name is Donald J. Trump. Now listen to this. Join me. Share this video. Hit the like button. This is very, very important.
If you think the BBC expose is just about corrupt journalists, you're missing everything. Here's what Donald Trump said. Very dishonest people who tried to step on the scales of a presidential election. On top of everything else, they are from a foreign country, one that many consider our #1 ally. And then here's what Trump said to Laura Ingraham a few hours after he made that post.
A lot of our allies aren't our friends either, Laura. Our allies took advantage of us on trade more than China did.
So, yes, the BBC has been caught red-handed interfering in the 2024 election. But this goes to something much deeper, something that is going to change everything you think you know about who really controls American policy. Now, let me put two of those Trump statements side by side for you. Speaking out about Britain, notice that he called it a country that many consider our #1 ally. And then later he said, well, a lot of our allies aren't our friends either. He is literally leading a new American revolution, and not enough people are on board. I'm Susan Kokinda, and for decades, I've been on the front lines of that real fight. The fight to end the British imperial policies and really finish what Hamilton, Lincoln, and McKinley started. I've tracked how the British have done everything possible to destroy Trump and keep their globalist grip intact.
British have done everything possible to destroy Trump and keep their globalist agenda afloat. British have tried everything possible to destroy Trump. Please, mommy Onyocha, repeat that statement again.
For one ally. And then later he said, well, a lot of our allies aren't our friends either. He is literally leading a new American revolution, and not enough people are on board. I'm Susan Kokinda, and for decades, I've been on the front lines of that real fight. The fight to end the British imperial policies and really finish what Hamilton, Lincoln, and McKinley started. I've tracked how the British have done everything possible to destroy Trump and keep their globalist grip intact.
Okay.
And I'm here to tell you that we are closer than ever to dismantling that control. So if you recognize that this is your kind of fight, hit those like and subscribe buttons so we can reach more people on.
Follow her channel. I don't even know her channel. Maybe I will need to look for it so that I will give her the credit. Please subscribe and follow her, please.
That control. So if you recognize that this is your kind of fight, hit those like and subscribe buttons so we can reach more people on YouTube. Here's what I'm going to cover today. First, how the British are now out in the open with their anti-Trump operations and are panicking over what Trump and his administration are doing to dismantle their intelligence control over the United States. And second, what they're really terrified about, the economic revolution that Trump is carrying out, which threatens to end an imperial system which has plagued the world for centuries. And by the end of this, you're going to understand why their panic, BBC resignations, MI5 terror, is proof that the revolution is working and why they're losing control. So the BBC has been outed. BBC Director General Tim Davie and the head of news have both resigned after it was shown that they doctored video footage of Donald Trump on January 6th. Trump is demanding an apology and threatening to sue for $1 billion.
He is no longer threatening to sue. Mommy, he already did it. He already did it. $1 billion. He already did it. It's no longer a threat. It's now in the coffin.
Trump is demanding an apology and threatening to sue for $1 billion. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. Here's what most people don't understand. The BBC isn't just some media company. It operates under a royal charter granted by the British Crown. It is an instrument of the British government and British intelligence, period. It's one arm of an apparatus that we've documented for years. We've shown that it was the British who were behind Russiagate, the entire operation to destroy Trump. Remember the Steele dossier? Christopher Steele, former MI6. Remember the 2018 House of Lords report that warned that a second Trump term would end the US-UK special relationship? Or remember the House of Lords hearing that I reported on back in August, where Obama's NATO ambassador admitted to the British Lords that Trump had just ended 80 years of global control. The British know what's happening, even if most Americans...
Did you hear that? Trump has ended. Obama was crying. Trump has ended 80 years of British global control. Chineke Nnamdi. 80 years of global control. Donald Trump ended it in a jiffy. Hey, Chineke Nnamdi. Please repeat it again, mommy.
That Trump had just ended 80 years of global control. The British know what's happening, even if most Americans don't. Now, Promethean Action is committed to fixing that because we know that the fight between the American system and the British system has been the key dynamic in the world since our revolution. And we've shown how that plays out in economics.
Does it not shock you? Does it not shock you that Britain, being supposedly the #1 ally of USA and Israel, that Britain is the first to acknowledge and accept Palestinian state? Britain is the one first to accuse Israel. But yet, you see them posing as ally because they pretend to be allies because they have no choice, because they are supposed to be the senior brother of America. The same Britain that fought to destroy America, they had a civil war against America. But Donald Trump, who knows all these things and is fighting all these hidden demons, is watching them. Their closest ally have become their worst enemies. Oh, Chineke Nnamdi.
Between the American system and the British system has been the key dynamic in the world since our revolution. And we've shown how that plays out in economics, statecraft, and culture. And that's one of the reasons why we understand what Donald Trump is really doing. So if you want to stop punching at shadows, go to Promethean Action, and subscribe to our free newsletter and join the fight. Because it is starting to come out in big ways. On Monday, the New York Times openly reported that MI5, British domestic intelligence, is panicking over Kash Patel's FBI appointment. And they're not even hiding it. They ran a remarkable piece on November 10th titled Kash Patel's Plans for the FBI Alarm U.S. Allies, mostly the British. The article details how MI5 is in full panic mode over Patel's appointment. Why?
Why?
Because Patel has made it clear he's going to investigate the origins of Russiagate, and that trail leads straight to London. The article openly talks about how the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance, which is the US, Britain, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, was set up by Winston Churchill right after his famous Iron Curtain speech in Fulton, Missouri in 1946. Think about that timing. Churchill gave that speech to launch the Cold War and then immediately created an intelligence sharing arrangement that gave British intelligence unprecedented access to US secrets.
Okay.
Well, why is the New York Times talking about this history? Because they're obviously afraid that Trump and his team are going to bust it up. In fact, Tulsi Gabbard has suspended intelligence sharing with Five Eyes on matters relating to Ukraine.
So it is even Donald J. Trump. It's even Donald J. Trump that severed intelligence with Britain. Winston Churchill, for many years since the 40s, have established intelligence. Anything happening in America, Britain will know. Everything going on. Now, Donald J. Trump has severed it. Donald J. Trump put up someone in FBI that will be able to bring out all the lie of BBC. Russia Gate, Donald Trump working with Putin. All those things were fabricated by BBC. And immediately Donald Trump appointed that Patel, that guy at FBI. MI5 were all afraid. They go everywhere. Oh, today now. Donald J. Trump is sitting gidigam, gidigam. Not only is he taking care of that situation, he's also taking care of the baby. The baby that Britain gave birth to in Africa, that is about to destroy the whole of Africa. And the only prophet that God actually raised up to expose all these things, who happened to be a British citizen, which Britain, if they had known, they would say, if we know, we will not allow Nnamdi Kanu to have citizenship that gave him the leverage to be able to preach the gospel of liberation from Britain. A lot is happening. Oh, Donald J. Trump, I'm telling you, is an instrument. Instrument of Chukwu Abiyama.
Are going to bust it up. In fact, Tulsi Gabbard has suspended intelligence sharing with Five Eyes on matters relating to Ukraine. And by understanding this history, you're going to better understand what a threat Donald Trump is to Britain's entire post-World War II order. Churchill and the British establishment created the Cold War framework to keep the world divided and under their control, preventing the kind of great power cooperation that FDR had envisioned before his death. FDR wanted a world of sovereign nations cooperating for mutual development. Churchill and the British Empire wanted the opposite, a world permanently divided between East and West, with London manipulating both sides. And that is exactly what Trump is overthrowing right now with his approach to Russia and China. Look at what just happened with Hungary. Prime Minister Viktor Orban visited Trump in the Oval Office last week and made clear what the dividing lines really are.
The problem is that the president has huge peace efforts, which are just splendid and very positive for the European continent and all the peoples of Europe. But at the same time, we are not unified because Brussels and the Europeans have a different approach to the war. So the only pro-peace government is the United States government and the small Hungary in Europe anyway. All the other governments prefer to continue the war.
It's Trump and Hungary versus the entire European establishment.
You see that? The only country that is actually supporting Trump in Europe is Hungary. Hungary. Forget about Finland. Finland, the truth is that at the end of the day, Trump will now know that Finland is doing wayo because Finland is gradually playing the same game of the caliphate and of the fake evil Islamic empire. Hungary is the one that refused to align with all their shenanigans. That's why everything they say in NATO, Hungary will say, no, this is not the way. You people, Hungary closed their border. They didn't bring in any Islamic, jihadist immigrants into Hungary. No way. They blocked their borders, including Poland, by the way. I don't know why Poland is not standing firm in the front there with Hungary, but Hungary is doing well, doing very well. Now let's go on. Let's go on.
Has a different approach to the war. So the only pro-peace government is the United States government and the small Hungary in Europe anyway.
Yes.
All the other governments prefer to continue the war.
It's Trump and Hungary versus the entire European establishment, which is really the British establishment control over Europe. That tells you everything. Now turn to China. Remember Trump's comment to Laura Ingraham? Our allies took advantage of us on trade more than China did. While the media obsesses over Trump being tough on China, something else is happening. Just recently, Kash Patel traveled to China to work on the fentanyl crisis, the modern opium war that's killing Americans. And here's the irony. MI5 is upset with Kash Patel. Meanwhile, he's busy working with China to stop drug trafficking that echoes the 19th century opium wars, which were run by the British Empire to subjugate China. The same British Empire whose intelligence services are now panicking because Trump and his administration are dismantling their control mechanisms. But as serious as these intelligence exposures are, what really has the British establishment in full panic mode is Trump's economic revolution. The British system has dominated the post-war world because the United States surrendered to imperial economic policies like free trade, floating currencies, and radical environmentalism. No president has seriously challenged this until Donald Trump. And here's what's hidden behind the affordability narrative, which is coming from both left and right. On the left, from Democrats, which was their talking point during the shutdown. On the right, to Tucker Carlson, MTG, and the Fuentes Groypers. They claim Trump is too focused on the international affairs or is in bed with billionaires and ignoring Americans who can't afford groceries. Well, here's why things aren't affordable. It has nothing to do with Trump and everything to do with what he's trying to change. In 1971, the US dollar, under pressure from the British pound, was taken off the gold reserve standard, and it became an object of financial speculation. This termination of the Bretton Woods system was the first step in the march toward the globalist hell we're living in today. You may be surprised to know that 1971 is also the year the World Economic Forum was founded to guide nations into subservience. What the British establishment is terrified of is that Trump will end their 50-year financialization of the American economy. Here's how they did it. The same financier elites who orchestrated the end of Bretton Woods pushed through legislation creating HMOs, health maintenance organizations, in 1972. Before that, healthcare was primarily a relationship between doctors and patients. Afterwards, it became a profit center for insurance companies and speculators. And who championed this financialization model globally? The City of London, with their British free trade, free market ideology, and their Wall Street partners. Obamacare was just the final stage of the spread of this cancer. And that's why Trump slammed the insurance companies and their profits. And anyone who's paying attention knows that what RFK Jr. and the team are trying to do is to make the purpose of healthcare to make you healthy, not to enrich the insurance companies or big pharma. Right now, you're simply an income extraction point for big pharma and the insurance cartels while they destroy your health. Because for them, it's not about health. It's about income streams. And that's what's happened step by step to all sectors of the economy. Mortgages were no longer an instrument to put you in a house. They became a cog in a Ponzi scheme of mortgage-backed securities, which brought us the 2008 housing crisis. And the British banks were deeply embedded in the mortgage securitization market. Same thing happened with student loans. They were turned into tradable securities, and college costs have increased by 1,200%. So what the British and their Wall Street partners have done is sucked up capital from these productive sectors of our economy, turning productive assets into simply financial speculation vehicles. Money chases money, and the physical economy has been increasingly starved over the past 50 years. So there are no productive jobs. Everyone is a consumer, engaged in a rat race to put together enough income to barely survive. The strategy of the elites, which has been the playbook of the Democratic Party, has been to compensate the loser. Throw enough money to the losers so they can stay pacified. The old Republican Party strategy was to play inside this financialized system and hope that as many lucky ones as possible could join them. Donald Trump is the first president in the post-war period to seriously challenge that by creating an economy based on production, where people will be producers and part of a functioning society which produces and then delivers healthcare, food, energy, and education. That's the importance of his tariffs and of the extraordinary deals which are bringing $17 to $20 trillion of investment into the United States for production, not speculation. The administration is supercharging many institutions in the government to redirect financial flows into real physical production. Energy Secretary Chris Wright just announced that hundreds of billions of dollars in DOE loans will be available for the massive expansion of nuclear power needed to turn us back into a manufacturing superpower. And yesterday, Stephen Miller made clear that this is the key to addressing affordability. Here's what he said.
So Thanksgiving meals are going to be 25% cheaper, but President Trump is not content with that. He is fighting to bring down the cost of every single consumer and household good, and the tax bill is going to be a huge part of this, because when we make life more affordable for our companies, for domestic industry, for domestic manufacturing, with 100% expensing, with the largest tax cuts in history, then prices are going to keep coming down. And the president is also making nuclear energy, modern, safe, reliable, clean nuclear energy to power the future. He issued 4 historic executive orders on nuclear energy. America will be the center of the nuclear energy renaissance in this country. And one more thing, Larry, AI. America under President Trump is the AI capital of the world. That's bringing in trillions of investment. That's bringing in millions of jobs. That's raising our standard of living. We are at the precipice of one of the great economic periods in the whole history of this country, Larry.
Let me highlight what he concluded there. We are at the precipice of one of the great economic periods in the whole history of this country. Now you understand why BBC executives are resigning and MI5 is panicking over Kash Patel. Trump's economic revolution threatens to turn the United States back into a sovereign producing nation again, not a subject of the rules-based order of the modern British Empire. The British Empire is desperate to keep people trapped in their...
And they are down. They are desperate to keep people trapped. They are down. Do you know what has happened to them? A spell cast on them by the true prophet of our time, Nnamdi Kanu, and the finger of our God, Chukwu Okike Abiama, that is working against them. They cannot keep Biafra trapped anymore. The indigenous people are now realizing all their demonic influence, and they are washing the scales out of their eyes, and they are becoming very, very free. Before we round it up there, I want to appreciate the comment of my beloved, honorable Dr. Joy Irobi. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Every morning you are watching us. I do not take it for granted. I want you to know that your labor for Biafra will never be in vain. Your love and passion will never be in vain. Thank you. Good morning, Briggy, Minister of Information, Honorable Raf Ndewo, GCK. Biafrans, your work, freedom for Onyendu, Nnamdi Kanu, and Honorable Prime Minister Ekpa Simon Ojoko is downloading. It is downloading. Biafrans, rejoice. Our mommy Ego Ibo says we are watching a lot of truth unfolding in our very eyes. Hey, all right, let's allow this mommy to conclude.
The United States back into a sovereign producing nation again, not a subject of the rules-based order of the modern British Empire. The British Empire is desperate to keep people trapped in their post-industrial world, a world where your only identity is as a consumer or a loser or a victim. In that world, you're simply angry at Trump because you don't see perp walks or the release of the Epstein files. And that is what is obviously fueling the Nick Fuentes phenomenon among young men. What the British don't want you to realize is that Donald Trump is leading an economic revolution on the scale of the American Revolution itself. And he's rapidly drawing large parts of the world into it as well. You need to be part of that fight. So join Promethean Action as a paying member, and let's finish what our founders started. Because this is what the British Empire has been trying to snuff out ever since 1776. And their panic with BBC resignations and MI5 freakouts over Kash Patel is proof that the revolution is real and we're winning. The more Americans who grasp that we're in the final battle for economic sovereignty, the faster we win.
The more Biafrans we grasp, the more Biafrans will grasp that we are at the threshold of this restoration of the kingdom of heaven on earth, the better and quicker for us. The more you will grasp it, the more you understand that everybody trying to cancel Vam Vam Vam, hey, Vam Vam Vam, Vam Vam Vam, no. We are not gossiping. We are bringing revolution, restoration, and we are destroying the kingdom of darkness called the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom. We are not going to sit down and start picking pebbles. We are going to focus and make sure this Goliath called Nigeria is brought down. As much as Nnamdi Kanu is bringing them down on the home front, Massa Monepa is bringing them down on the international stage. Vam 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 is here. Now I don't have Vam Vam Vam. Now Koha. Join me. Let's do this together, because together we win. Biafra Republic Government in Exile, support this move. Go to our website, www.ipobinusa.org/donate. Support this move. I am telling you, Omonso are doing the needful in the home front. Igwe Butuzo, doing the needful. Gidibam, alive and well, doing the needful. Ask them. Ask those shameless British and those idiotic zoo. Where is Igwe Gidigam? Can they catch him? Can you catch Breeze? And where is he? You don't know, Abi? You are in for a long run. The Almighty Chukwokika Abiyama is with us, and it is our time to be restored. It is God that raised up Donald Trump for us. It is God that kept Nnamdi Kanu alive for us. It is God that is turning the table for our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. It is the Almighty God, Chukwokika Abiyama, that never allowed them to succeed in cancelling Vam Vam Vam. I am here, the armor bearer of the Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. You will not forget this face in a hurry. It is either you align or you resign. It is either you align or you resign. Airborne! They won. I think our mommy has finished. Let me allow her to repeat that last line again. The earlier.
Over Kash Patel is proof that the revolution is real and we're winning. The more Americans who grasp that we're in the final battle for economic sovereignty, the faster we win.
Yes.
This has been your midweek update. Thanks for listening.
Please take a moment and subscribe to our free newsletter.
Thank you very much. I wish I know her handle. We would have shared it here so that people will keep following, very straight and correct news from here. They will. I think it.
onye gwa m na Chineke nna nke igwe biko dịka isi wee napụta ụmụ gị n'ọbụ n'Ijipt gotu ebe gbesogo ụmụ gị bụ ndị Biafra mgbe ekwensu bụ zuu nke mmadụ dị ndụ kere anyị wee na-ajaghị mma na-asị gị n'ime ọnọdụ anyị anyị ga-ekele ha nsọ gị wee nye gị nsọpụrụ n'ụtụ na-eji ama mgbe niile n'ihi na anyị enweghị chi ọzọ ewezuga gị anyị nwe anyị anaghị efe arụsị ọbịa mere iji wee na-agọzi nsọmụkwụ anyị niile ọbịa mere IPOB ji wee gbaa mgbọrọgwụ n'ụwa niile anyị anaghị atụ egwu mmadụ dị ndụ anyị wee na-eto gị eze ebube dị ngọzi sị gị biko gbatara anyị ọsọ enyemaka ọ bụ naanị gị onye anyị
enyemaka
ka i wee napụta ndị gị n'ọbụ nke ekwensu anyị wee na-enye gị ofe na nsọpụrụ na ija ma na-asị lekwa ka ndị iro anyị niile ka kasị wee baa ha ọnụ ha wee daa hapụ ego ọzọ obodo ekwensu bụ isi ala ọkwa gị eze ebube dị ngọzi anya nwa anyị bụ ụmụ igwe na-akpọkọ ha nsọ gị na-asị na ebeghị chi ọzọ egwezuga gị anyị wee na-aja gị mma wee na-eto gị na-asị onye kere ihe niile kere mana nwee onye kere na n'otuto niile na nsọpụrụ niile na ịja mma niile site n'ebighị mmadụ onye ka na-arịọ gị ise
ndewo onye ndu. I'll see you in my next video. Remain strong and firm. Ndewo.